here I am, Carl Lundgren, chiropractor in Lima, Peru, and I'm with good friend and colleague Danny Knowles, and we're working on a special event for the end of the year, December 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, where we're going to be bringing Network Spinal back to South America again. It hasn't been since 2019 when our good friend Dr. Jose Salgado was here. So, Danny, let me introduce you to everyone in South America. This is Danny Knowles.
Grateful to be
Say
here.
hi.
So incredibly super energized to be headed to South America, and actually also always super energized when I get to speak to Dr. Carl. You're a true gift to people in South America through your practice, and also an incredible resource to chiropractors in the area. And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to share with chiropractors in South America. Super thrilled to be sharing the Discover Care experience for the first time that I'm teaching it in South America. We're going to have fun.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. It's only been taught twice in South America, once by Donnie in 2009, and that was a great experience. And then with Jose in Santiago, Chile. So South America needs it. It's asking for it, looking for it, and I'm really glad that it's you that's bringing it back. I really am.
Yes, and also I'll say for the people that, I mean, 2009 was a while ago. Donnie
Yeah,
Epstein, always great to learn from. Jose, also extraordinary to learn from.
yeah,
2019, a lot has changed. The work
oh yeah,
continues to evolve. So
yeah.
if you have learned network before, whether it be stateside or any other continent, you will want to be here in Peru with us, Lima, for the Discover Care experience. So you'll be able to be to the newest upgrades of Network Spinal.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I really wanted to communicate to people because they were asking me here, well, who's Danny? Who's Danny Knowles? And I said, you don't know who Danny Knowles is? Well, I met you back in 1996 when in life, and then we got a chance to speak again in Sherman in '97 for the World Congress of Chiropractic Students, and that's when I met Donnie. Uh, and for me, when I got back to Atlanta to take the Transform Care experience and work with you and Rochelle, it was just fantastic to see the evolution of the care, the evolution of the work, the subtle adjustments, subtle refinements that just make such a huge difference. And it's been, and my practice members have been raving about the changes. They're like, what the heck have you been doing? So it was really cool to have that. And that's why when people were asking me, and I said, well, you may not know who Danny is because he's up in North America, but he's family, like with Donnie. And you have access to, and you've got so many years of experience in network. I mean, and you've been doing this since before you graduated, which
This
was
is
back in
true.
when
This
did you
is true.
graduate?
This is
96,
true. I
97?
graduated in 96 from Sherman College of Straight Chiropractic. That was the name at the time. Sherman
Yeah.
College of Straight Chiropractic. And I want to add something else that's really important. You actually get three for the price of one because you
Mhm.
get myself, okay?
Yeah.
And it won't just be me, my wife, Dr. Rochelle Knowles. We practiced together since 99 in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah. She's
Highest
amazing. I can
volume.
definitely,
She's
yeah.
she's a phenomenal. I'm not just saying that because I'm married to her, but but
Awesome.
she,
I can vouch for how amazing her technique is. Like it was really amazing
so
when,
we have had the highest volume networks practice for a very long time and been teaching network around the world for a long time, but we've never made it to South America continent. So we're thrilled to be there. And I said three for the price of one. You also get the support of Dr. Carl, who is a great gift and a very brilliant practitioner.
oh,
So
thank you.
this will be the opportunity to have for the people that have attended network before to up level their skills,
Hmm.
okay, and get the newest refinements of network spinal, and for those that have not, okay, attended before to get a great start from the ground up at at the beginning place of learning and discovering network, which is the Discover Care experience. So network is delivered during a continuum of care. Discover, transform, awaken. Understand that one of the things that's really at the forefront with network is that right now times are pretty have a lot of instability in the world in general. And people in the unstable times that we're living in need even more resourcefulness and resources. And network is really through network spinal refining relative to the resourcefulness of the practice member. And what's key is what's the resources that the doctor brings and that the resources that the practice member shows up with. And how do we address that person, not address the bone, address the person, their nerve system, so that they can continue to evolve and up level their experience of life, enhance their life experience through a more coherent, refined nervous system. And, what happens is people have not even known what level of coherence or clarity they can experience until they actually have received network spinal care.
Yeah, that is so true. Today I was doing a workshop, and I was also in the office, and people got a chance to discover how, because when I checked them, and they, well, that feels normal, and I said, well, it's a long way away from normal. It's a long way away from optimal. It's what you're used to. It's what's familiar. It's what you see in most people, and you don't have anything to refer as a point of reference yet. But when you have that reference, when you feel the connection, when you reconnect inside, you discover how far you've been and how you've had to lower your standard to get through and survive. And then once you connect, once you find that source of energy, you're locked up. Well, the faces were just amazing today. We did a workshop with stage 1, and they were just, what the? And how things can just change so quickly when you find just the right way to intervene.
Yes. And, that's the clever, the important thing to understand. What you said, the right way to intervene, rather than fixing a person,
Right.
right? Which sadly, much of the chiropractic profession is focused on, which is not really what the original spark of chiropractic was about. The intention really is to have the person have greater spinal and neural integrity, to be able to navigate life's demands differently, and understand this key thing: less healthy nerve system, less bandwidth to process energy and information and navigate life's demands. Healthier nerve system, greater bandwidth to navigate life. And people need more ability to process energy information than they ever did before. And being able to analyze the person's system, their nerve system, of what's going on with their bones, muscles, nerves, active, passive, neural control system, know what's going on with the triad of how they experience the world: structure, behavior, perception, finding the precise spinal vortex, spinal gateway, vortex that the person's body yearns for you to apply a force with just the exact right spot with the right tissue depth. Because understand, we've said for decades, chiropractic is specific or nothing. This is a level of specificity that people didn't even know existed. And understand, the human body is so much more responsive than we ever knew it to be. It's never so much more responsive than we knew in 1895 when D.D. Palmer discovered chiropractic, or in the 1920s where B.J. Palmer forward progressed chiropractic with upper cervical. There's so much more specificity people can provide, and so much more bandwidth people can have, because we know so much more about the nerve system and its potential now.
Yes. Yeah. No. The things that have changed, because when I met you in '96, and then it was 1997, I had my first entrainment, and Yannick and I decided to study together in 1998. what really I loved about what Donnie was doing and what everyone is doing. There's a number of things, but the continual evolution, always looking for refinements, always looking for improvement. That there is no ceiling. That's one. The other was counting on a network of practitioners that I can refer to and I can work with. That there's a community that we can share with, because I have practice members that I had. Jennifer in Barcelona just send me a picture of one of my practice members that's been around for 20 years that now lives in Barcelona, and so she receives care. Today, I had a person that's been doing a world tour. She was in California. She's German. She's getting care in Germany with Karen, and then receiving care in California, and then she's just here, and she just came in for the workshop we did in stage 1. She's coming back in tomorrow for the second workshop on stage 2. She's looking forward to getting back to Germany, and she's been to see other practitioners throughout the world. So it's nice to have that community that you can trust, that are going to get something similar to what you were doing in the office, and they're going to, but from a different angle, which is also good. And so then it'd be nice when there's more people in South America that we can refer to as well, because I constantly get calls about people in Brazil and Argentina, and in Chile now we do have a couple colleagues, or a few, and there's a couple people there's lots in Argentina that want to learn, and there's lots in Brazil that want to learn, and Mexico. But we've got a lot of work to do to get Latin America online. And once they start to experience what we've been doing here in Peru for the last 20 years, it's just incredible when you see the change in the face. When you see, as soon as the right, like you were saying, the lightest contact, right place, right time, very precise. And that's all it requires. It's just bringing down the free energy for change.
And
just
I'll tell you something more.
Oh, yeah.
People want more.
Yeah.
They want more than to be fixed. They want
yeah.
more than something that makes them feel different for 48 hours. They want more, but they don't know where to get more. They don't know where to look. And they don't even know what's more possible for them. See, here's the interesting thing. People may think they know what a chiropractor or chiropractic is. And we all know that most people's in the public's view of chiropractic is not exactly what it is philosophically in terms of our science and art. And we're all well aware of that in terms of what the public thinks chiropractic is. And what happens when they discover network, they don't have to necessarily have someone teach them that they have an innate wisdom. They have an experience directly of their body making the change. They know that it's not Dr. Carl making adjustment. They know that the body's innate wisdom is made, not from a philosophical, didactic, academic experience, but from a visceral, physiological experience, that there's more. And then people want to have more. They want to be able to experience life to the fullest. They just don't even know what they ask for. It's very interesting. When the iPhone came out, I'm like, what is Danny talking about, the iPhone? When the iPhone came out, this is understand, that was revolutionary. It was a new technology. And when that happened, the biggest cell phone carrier was Nokia. Some of you remember a Nokia phone. I don't know if any of you still carry one, but some of you there you go, right? Right. It was the biggest distributor. And their business model was giving people what they want at the lowest price. Give them what they want at the lowest price. What Apple did when they came to the market with the iPhone, they gave people what they didn't even know they can ask for. They gave them what they didn't even know they could ask for. And that's how often people have Nokia phones other than Dr. Carl's shelf there. They don't. Because then they knew they were exposed to something possible. When people deliver Network Spinal, they're giving people what people didn't even realize they can ask for. And with the incredible number of people in South America and the very few people that have the skill set to do Network Spinal, you have an endless number of practice members to tap into once they realize that there's so much more available to them. And so it becomes something where you are the person to seek out because you have skill set, knowledge, wisdom that other people do not have in terms of uplifting the care to the people in your community.
No, that was the topic of discussion today in the office, where we were talking about that here there's nothing to be fixed. This just needs to be felt, and then it need permission to process. And once you've processed, you've got new skills, new strategies, you've got new ways of dealing with things. The past events have been you've learned from, instead of just tried to avoid in the future. And wherever, because our energy is, when we talk about in network about being energy poor, energy neutral, energy rich, super rich, just where's the energy going? What's the focus of the body? If it's focused on survival, if it's focused on staying safe, then other functions are not getting the priority that they deserve. So health suffers as a consequence when we're searching for safety. Once you realize you're safe, and we can create the conditions for safety, then you can regulate. And once you regulate, you can return to health. And then you can start to look at what more is possible for me? What more can I do? How much more can I experience and express? Because that's what I was sharing with people today, is that what's going to make you feel fulfilled is realization and fulfilling your purpose, sharing your gifts. And that's going to come from how you're organized. And if you're not organized appropriately to be able to share your gifts, you need to reorganize. But you're not going to be able to reorganize if you're defending the organization. And then if you're unaware of how you're defending the organization, well, then what hope do you have other than just look for a way to numb the pain? But there's so much more available. So I'm really, really super excited to have, because I know you've taught in Europe, you've taught in North America, you've taught in Australia. If I've missed a continent, let me know. But you have a wealth of knowledge to share. Rochelle is amazing as well, because I've seen both of you work together. And it's just going to be an exciting time for chiropractic in South America. There's a lot of people looking forward to it. And so we're looking forward to seeing you here in December.
Get to Lima in December. It's where you want to be. And I am thrilled to share with people in South America. And we are going to be able to have resources for people to learn, not only Discover Care Experience, we're actually adding an extra day so that people can have the Discover Care Practicum. So not only the teaching program, but also the hands-on. So rather than make an additional trip, people can have all of that in one weekend with myself, Rochelle, and also Dr. Carl. So that way, they can be primed to use the new tools they learn. And it's really amazing. They'll have all these tools to assess people that they never even had. There are things in the feel with the person that they didn't even know they could feel, and ways to assess a person's structure and behavior that regardless of how much you do network in the future, you'll have a whole new lens to see people through as you're taking care of them. And regardless of whether you do Gonstead or upper cervical or some other approach, you'll see, I see something about the person's spine and nerve system that I didn't even know was there all along. And people tell me that over and over again, that they can use the skill sets they use in whatever kind of care they're already doing. But they'll find that the more they use it, the more they want to go deeper and use more of network spinal and less of what they were all already doing, which will then prime them to also go beyond the beginning areas of learning the first season of care, Discover Care Experience.
No, for me, just the system of analysis, knowing what to look for, what outcomes you want, and then you can utilize different techniques. That's what in my first 5 years of practice, because I learned network spinal analysis back in '98, but I graduated in '99, and when I started practice here in Lima first with Liam Schubel, I was doing Diversify, but I was doing a system of analysis pre and post, looking for parameters, looking for passive active neural control tension, seeing the changes. That's what I was looking for, to see how effective my adjustment was. And then it was in 2004 that I returned to Europe and went to an intermediate level, like a transformative care experience, and something shifted in my spine. And it was 14 years that I couldn't straighten my right leg because of an injury from football or soccer. That changed. I could straighten my leg for the first time in 14 years. And that was in Como. And it was that day that I was just like, oh, I can't continue doing what I've been doing. I got to do, now I have to do this. And so that's when I just shifted everything. And I haven't looked back. So since 2004, 2005, it's just been exclusively doing network. And it caught, and I just love what is possible, what's available, what people have access to, and how much more they get to discover, transform, and then awaken, because there's new possibilities once you're able to break out of the old patterns. I didn't see that when I was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
And realize
really looking
there's
forward.
different levels of clarity. There's, we talk about being clear in chiropractic, a clear nerve system, right? We want to get it clear out. So there's clear in a 1950s black and white TV. There's clear in a 1990s plasma monitor, right?
Yeah.
But then there's clear at a 4K HD or whatever we're up to, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, what level of clarity, coherence, and nerve system bandwidth can you help your practice members? Can you facilitate for them to experience the world to? And that's the vision, that every man, woman, child experience life through the gift of a healthy spine and nerve system.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a noble mission. I love it. Well, thank you very much, Danny. Thank you for your time and sharing. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Well, see you in Denver at the end of the month for the Awaken, and then looking forward to seeing you down here, where we can now have you can get some really good Lima or Peruvian cuisine.
Well, I'll say this. It takes a lot for me to go from mile-high territory to sea level, but for Lima, Peru, and for the people of South America, we look forward to going to sea level.
All right, cool. You'll enjoy. If you miss the heights, we can take you up to Cusco. All right. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And I'll let you get back to you. It's Saturday night, so I'll let you get back to the family. And we'll continue with more updates soon.
Excellent.
All right. All right. Thank you.